The world is blind to a seismic shift. As of 2025, 560 million people, roughly 6.8% of the global population, were using blockchain-based cryptocurrencies. Yet, over 93% remain unaware of Bitcoin's potential to revolutionize their lives. This isn't about speculative investing. It's about leveraging knowledge of a technology growing faster than the internet or mobile phones. Bitcoin and its blockchain are solving real-world problems: hyperinflation, financial exclusion, fraud, and the lack of trust, while at the same time empowering individuals to take control of their financial future. You know what? I can feel it. I am literally seeing you from my screen. I can see you. You are rolling your eyes and you're thinking to yourself, oh, here he is. Another YouTube clown doing his best to sell some magical Bitcoin escape plan. And you know what? I don't blame you, not at all, because let's face it. If you expect me to sell you some shitty, lousy courses, sorry for your disappointment. It's a case of pure mistaken expectations. But gentlemen, let's stop the chit chat and get down to business. My mission today is simple. I want to lecture you because obviously no one else has the courage to tell you this. You are not winning because let's face it, you work harder and yet you have very little to show for your hard work. And that doesn't please me at all. It doesn't please me one bit. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna spend the next 10 minutes of our engagement here with eyes sprinkling some motivation over your misery. No, not at all. Don't mistake my intentions. And if you have any mommy or daddy issues, I will expect you to simply fuck off. Just get out. Anyways, boys, if you're not aware, Bitcoin was launched in 2009 by the pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto. It has achieved a staggering adoption rate that outstrips even the most transformative technologies of the past. According to a 2025 BlackRock report, cryptocurrency adoption has reached 300 million people in just 12 years. That is 43% faster than mobile phones that took 21 years and 20% faster than the internet that took 15 years to achieve such numbers. Blockware Solutions estimates that Bitcoin alone will achieve a 10% global adoption by 2030. Of course, they speculate that this is going to be driven by its monetary incentives and the internet's exponential reach, continued expansion of the internet networks. As of 2025, approximately 560 million people, that is roughly 6.8% of the global population, are using blockchain-based technologies, with Bitcoin leading the charge. Now, I need you to compare this with the internet's adoption curve. In 1994, only 0.4% of the world's population, that is 25 million people, were using the internet. And by 2000, it had reached 5.8%, that is 361 million people using the internet. Mobile phones, on the other hand, even if they followed a similar trajectory with over 300 million users by 1993, 21 years after the first mobile phone networks emerged, Bitcoin has, however, already captured 4% of the global population. That is 300 million users already, and in half the time. Of course, its growth, as I have explained earlier, is being fueled by network effects, financial incentives, and a growing distrust in centralized systems. Now, why is Bitcoin growing so fast? First, it is a hedge against economic instability. In countries like Venezuela, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, where inflation continues to erode the national currencies or fiat currencies, Bitcoin's fixed supply of 21 million coins continue to make it a digital gold, and it continues to preserve purchasing power and also preserving people's wealth. The other reason is the younger generation, the millennials and Gen Zs are not like baby boomers. These guys are internet natives. They are not scared of anything. They are comfortable with decentralized systems. The third reason is institutional adoption. There is a skyrocketing adoption of Bitcoin by institutions. BlackRock's iShare Bitcoin Trust is currently the largest Bitcoin ETF. And then we have Michael Saylor with his strategy holding more than 600,000 Bitcoins. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF holds over 51 billion in assets. In 2025 alone, it had more than 38 billion in terms of inflows. Galaxy Digital that is also predicting that the United States spot Bitcoin ETFs could attract $250 billion in terms of inflows by the end of 2025. All of these are a signal of mainstream financial integration of Bitcoin. And yet, in spite of this meteoric rise, nearly, in fact, more than 95% of the world population remains unaware or skeptical. A study carried out in 2024 found that while over 22% of the United States male and 10% of the women have used cryptocurrencies, global awareness continues to lag. especially in regions with limited digital infrastructure, like Africa, of course, Asia. Now, this is your gap. This gap is your opportunity. The world's ignorance of Bitcoin's potential is the edge you can exploit. And you're not going to do this by buying stocks or by doing real estate, but by mastering a technology that is rewriting the rules of wealth, as I have explained above. Now, you listen, you cannot get rich buying stocks as a poor person. The stocks are part of a traditional path to wealth. If you buy stocks, bonds, real estate, that game is already cheated against the poor, against you. And here is the logic. Here is what I'm trying to explain. Wealth creation through traditional investments requires a significant capital, it requires a lot of time, and it requires access to markets that most of you do not have. Now, if you're starting with something like $1,000, even a stellar growth of 10% annual return on your stock portfolio would just yield $100 a year. Now, to turn that into meaningful wealth, you need decades of compounding or a massive initial investment, neither of which is feasible for someone just scraping by um, or just living by the grace of God. Now, the stock market rewards those already wealth. That is not out of the question. It rewards those who can afford to diversify, absorb losses, and wait out market cycles. But for the poor, it is a treadmill. It's a circus. You are running, but you aren't going anywhere. In addition, stocks are tethered to centralized systems. They are tethered to governments, to corporations, to financial institutions. These can manipulate markets. They can impose fees. They can restrict access. If you didn't learn from the 2008 financial crisis how these systems prioritize the elite, then I don't know what will teach you. They were bailing out banks while leaving the ordinary person to drown on their own. Now, add that to the barriers of financial literacy. A lot of people are financially very illiterate. Then the broker's fees and the minimum investment requirements. And it's clear why the poor cannot climb the ladder through stocks. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is a different beast, is a different animal altogether. Why? Because it's decentralized, it's borderless, and accessible to anyone with an internet connection. You don't need a broker, you don't need a bank account or a credit score to be able to purchase Bitcoin. All you need is your smartphone and a few dollars. Now, I'm not saying that investing small amounts is going to make you a billionaire overnight. No. Understanding Bitcoin's technology, its use cases, and the market dynamics, this is what will set you apart. Knowledge, not capital, is the current of this particular revolution. Now, the billionaires who understood Bitcoin early are definitely reaping big. Those who understood Bitcoin's potential early, these guys didn't need a vast sums to become wealthy. They leveraged what they leveraged knowledge, and that's what I've just explained. That this is a revolution of information, of knowledge. Take Saylor, for example. He invested when Bitcoin was at $10,000 per coin. By 2025, with Bitcoin reaching 110,000 plus, his holdings have exceeded $20 billion, and he's not stopping. Now, you cannot sit here and think that this is just a case of blind luck. No, it's an example of people studying Bitcoin's code, understanding its deflationary model, and betting on its adoption. The beauty of all of this is that over 95% of the world still do not get it. While the masses continue to dismiss Bitcoin as a scam or fad, those who are diving deep, like myself, we are trying to understand. In fact, we understand its mechanics, its blockchain, its halving cycles, and layer 2 solutions like the Lightning Network. We are positioning ourselves for the exponential gains, the famous gains you keep hearing of in Bitcoin, rather in cryptocurrencies. This knowledge gap is your window to act before the crowd wakes up. Now, why Bitcoin is the best technology of our generation, and I've said that several times, but I want to explain a little bit more of why I think so. And this is why. Because it's not just a currency, it's a technological juggernaut. It stands above every other technology. And here are some of the reasons. Number one, its unmatched adoption speed. As I have noted above already, Bitcoin's adoption outpaces the internet and mobile phones. By 2027, crypto users would hit 1 billion. And this is, I'm saying that because of the Web3 integrations and the peer-to-peer networks. All of these will facilitate its continued adoption. I'm not just speculating, it's a trend. It is backed by data and network effects. Then there is the artificial intelligence the artificial intelligence blockchain symbiosis. Artificial intelligence is reshaping the world. We all know that. If you don't know that, then this video is not for you. But while it is reshaping the world, it is also creating a crisis of trust. Artificial intelligence continues to generate deep fakes, manipulated data, and a centralized control could threaten authenticity. Blockchain, with its immutable decentralized ledger, is the antidote to this problem. Every transaction on Bitcoin's blockchain is verifiable. Yes, you can verify it. It is transparent and it is also tamper proof, which makes it the ultimate tool for validating artificial intelligence driven systems. In March 2025, EY integrated AI into its blockchain analyzer. This enhanced smart contract audits and token reviews. As artificial intelligence continues to scale, blockchain will be the backbone ensuring truth in a world of synthetic data. Then there is the tokenization of real world assets. The tokenization of assets continue to represent. It represents real assets, stocks, or commodities as digital tokens on a blockchain. Hmm? This is revolutionizing ownership. BlackRock is managing $11.5 trillion, and he continues to lead this charge with its tokenized U.S. treasuries on the Tron blockchain. He is indeed leading the charge. The global real-world asset tokenization market is projected to hit 16 billion by 2030. This will enable fractional ownership and liquidity for assets once considered a preserve for the ultra-rich. Bitcoin, as the most secure blockchain, will anchor this ecosystem, obviously with Ethereum's smart contracts complementing it. Now, there is also economic freedom for the unbanked. In countries with unstable economies like Uganda, Nigeria, and most of the African countries, and also, the banking infrastructure is very poor, Bitcoin is offering a lifeline, is offering an escape route. Over 1.4 billion people around the world are not banked, and yet many have smartphones. Bitcoin's peer-to-peer network will make it possible to store value, send remittances, or trade without intermediaries. In Nigeria, for instance, where inflation hit 33% in 2024, Bitcoin adoption is soaring as a hedge against currency devaluation. Then there is institutional legitimacy. As I've already told you that BlackRock is going so big on Bitcoin ETFs. In fact, his 51 billion Bitcoin in ETF is testament to what I'm telling you. El Salvador has adopted Bitcoin as a legal ledger. Then there is the SEC's approval of Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs in 2024, which has continued to legitimize crypto in traditional finance. This will continue to drive institutional inflows. Of course, Bitcoin is not without critics, and I believe the critics criticize from a position of ignorance. They say Bitcoin is too volatile. They talk about the price swings. They talk about, but listen, volatility is a feature. It's not a bug. Any emerging asset class is associated with such volatility. Let's look, for instance, gold. Gold was volatile in its early days as a global store of value, yet it has stabilized over time. Bitcoin's halving cycles, which reduce new supply every 4 years, are some of the primary drivers of this short-term volatility. But long-term, Bitcoin will stabilize. In fact, it is already stabilizing. The 2024 halving cut miner rewards to 3.125 Bitcoin, and this tightened supply and fueled price surges. These are, like I've said, it's not a bug. It is simply a future. Then they also say that it is just a speculative bubble. That's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. They say that Bitcoin is a tulip mania, but bubbles don't sustain 16 years of growth. Bitcoin has been here for the past 16 years uninterrupted, working every day. So its market cap has hit more than $1 trillion as of 2025, dwarfing most traditional assets. But here is the thing: its fixed supply and decentralized nature make Bitcoin immune to the over-leveraging that fuels traditional bubbles. Then they say blockchain is too complex. Yes, nothing of worth comes cheap, comes easily. Blockchain's technicalities like hashing, proof of work, nodes, yeah, I know they can intimidate. But so was the internet in 1994. User-friendly platforms, the likes of Binance, the likes of Coinbase, and of course other institutions like BlackRock, they are helping lower the barrier to entry. But the most important thing is education. You do not think of avoiding to educate yourself and considering that an answer. Absolutely not. Now, they talk about regulatory risk. This is another nonsense the critics keep bringing up. Regulatory uncertainty continues to persist, of course, with the Securities Exchange Commission battling report. But the Securities Exchange Commission is, of course, with the Trump administration, has become very, very, very friendly to the crypto industry. As you know, Trump is intending to make America the crypto capital of the world. So the Congress is debating crypto laws. This is very good. Regulation will mature and it will not derail. It will not derail the rise of Bitcoin. The data is very clear, ladies and gentlemen. Folks, Bitcoin is the fastest adopting technology of our generation, of our time. As I've explained, it is outpacing the internet and also the mobile phones. Its blockchain underpins the future of artificial intelligence, tokenization, and financial freedom. BlackRock's 51 billion ETFs, 560 million blockchain users, and the projected 1.87 trillion blockchain market by 2034. All of these scream one thing. This isn't a fact. This isn't going away. It's a revolution, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are poor, stocks will not save you. They demand capital that you don't have. And they also require time that you cannot afford. But Bitcoin rewards knowledge. Learn its code, study its halving cycles, explore the layer 2 solutions like the Lightning Network, and understand tokenization. The 95% who don't get it are simply your advantage. That's what I've been trying to explain. Saylor and the others did not just buy Bitcoin. They invested in understanding what Bitcoin is all about. So they understood when the world was mocking and scoffing. Every sign points to Bitcoin's dominance. Artificial intelligence will need a currency, and Bitcoin is there. Artificial intelligence will need a blockchain to trust. Bitcoin will provide. Tokenization needs Bitcoin for security. The unbanked need it for freedom. Institutions need it for growth. The question, ladies and gentlemen, is not whether Bitcoin will reshape the world. Instead, it is whether you will be part of the 5% who saw it coming, dived in, studied it, and took action. The revolution will not wait. Thank you so much for paying attention to me. I have nothing else to say. Bye-bye.